All right, first we're going to make our batter, and we need 2 tablespoons of baking powder. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. What this is going to do is create that thick, crispy crust on our chicken fried steak. Now we also need to add some black pepper, and we need about a teaspoon of black pepper. And we need a teaspoon of kosher salt. Using a fork, we're going to mix that up, the dry ingredients, and get it all mixed up. And then we're going to add 1.5 cups of buttermilk. I'm going to mix that up. In order to get it very well incorporated. But to that, we're going to also add 1 large egg. And we're going to mix and get that batter smooth and consistent. Our batter's ready. Next, we want to prepare 2 stations for flour. And the reason I use 2 is that if I dredge my steaks inside of the first one, and then I double dip, in other words, we're going to flour them twice, this will keep them from getting clumpy, and it's much cleaner way to do it. Now let's get our cube steak ready to go. So yes, it depends on the quality of meat. What you're looking for, if you could find it, is a bottom round or middle round, not so much the top round steaks, and then the butcher will cube it, and they send it through these little knives that cut it into a nice, it tenderizes it, cuts all that gristle that's in there. But anyway, let's start with putting flour on the first station. We want to push it down in there, get it nice and floured. Then we want to go to the batter. Try to hold it by the corner so that you don't get batter all over your fingers. And then next, the last station, you want to get that flour deep on there, extremely well coated and sticking to that batter. And then we're going to put it on a wire rack where we're just going to let it sit. We're going to now let those rest for about 15 minutes and let that moisture get soaked into the batter before we're ready to cook it. Now it's time to prepare our pot for frying this, and I'm using a cast iron pot and Crisco. I know Crisco has a bad rap, but But at the end of the day, if you want the best flavor for this, either Crisco or if you can find it, lard. And we're talking about chicken fried steak, so there's a difference. You'll see different YouTube videos that have, well, I'll call it pan fried steak, but it's not true chicken fried steak unless you're using Crisco or lard, and it's got maybe 3 cups of lard in there so it can get saturated. So we'll wait for that to get up to 340, 350 degrees, and then we're going to put our steaks in there. Okay, our next step is to get our Crisco up to 340, 350 degrees. I use a thermometer, a digital thermometer to measure that. I'm 350. Now I want to go ahead and drop these in. I can only do, because of the size of my cast iron, I can only do 2 at a time. And we want these to fry for 3 to 4 minutes per side. So use your Google Assistant. Hey Google, set timer for 4 minutes.
Okay, 4 minutes. Starting now.
Stop. Okay, Google says it's time to flip them. So we're going to flip them over.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
All right. So we're going to, I'm going to flip them over. And really, you don't have to do another 4 or 5 minutes on this side, maybe 3 minutes. Hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
Sure, 3 minutes. Starting now.
And I have preheated my oven to 250 degrees. So I'm going to put these, because I can't cook them all at the same time, but I want to keep them nice and warm. I'm going to put them in the oven after they're done, and that way we can have them nice and hot. And we're going to show you how to make the gravy for these to pour on the top. All right, we're looking for that golden brown. Google should tell me pretty soon that they're done. But as you can imagine, if I put the cold meat inside of the oil, it drops the temperature. So I want to keep that temperature up. So once I take these out, I'm going to wait till the temperature comes back up again. Stop. So Google says it's ready, and it looks like it. So I'm going to just drip them off and put them on another rack to drain. Now I want to check the temperature and get it back up to 350. So I'm going to wait just a little bit, and then that oil gets back up to temperature. I'll put 2 more in. We're back up to 350 degrees, so I'm going to put the next 2 pieces in. Hey Google, set timer for 4 minutes.
Sure, 4 minutes. And that's starting now.
So now I have these in the oven, keeping nice and cozy at 250 until Karen makes the gravy that we're going to pour on top of them.
Okay, to this pot, we're going to add some bacon grease. Let's say maybe a tablespoon.
Okay, now that I've done all the hard part, you're going to do the gravy.
Yes, yes.
At the end of the day, Karen's from Ohio, and if you're from Ohio, it's in your DNA to make gravy.
Oh my goodness, I know, he makes fun of me all the time. It's okay, he's from all around the world. His father was in the Air Force for 30 years, so he's lived a little bit of everywhere. Okay, so we're just gonna let this bacon grease melt. I'm gonna add some flour. I'm gonna test our grease to see if it's ready. Okay, the flour is bubbling nicely. So we're probably gonna add maybe a 1/4 cup, a little more flour. There's a lot of grease in there, but everybody likes extra gravy, so that'll be fine. Sorry for the scraping on the bottom of the pan. I need to invest in a plastic. Okay. We're just going to let that simmer a bit until you can smell it browning. We're going to add some cold water. Oh, it smells delicious. You can always tell when it's just right, just by the smell of it. Put the rest of the water to the side. Next, we're going to add some evaporated milk. Equal parts of evaporated milk and water is the same as adding whole milk. To me, it just gives it a much creamier and better flavor. We'll let this go, see if it can thicken. While it's cooking, we're going to add some salt. Seems like a lot of salt, but really needed salt to flavor the flour. And a lot of pepper. And really, this is all the seasonings you need. Some people will add hot sauce to the gravy or different spices, but I'm thinking good old country cooking is just salt and pepper. Okay, we're going to turn this down to medium-low. Go ahead and add the rest of the cream. Okay, the gravy looks nice, thickening. I think it's ready to go. You can always add more salt and pepper to your plate if you like.
Okay, thank you, Karen. She has made the perfect gravy. So I'm going to take a beautiful piece of country fried steak, right? And of course, we're going to ladle that with some gravy. Let's be honest, you want more gravy. And if this was for breakfast, a couple of eggs. If it's for dinner, mashed potatoes, maybe some peas. At the end of the day, this is going to be delicious. I hope you enjoyed our video. Please subscribe. and we'll see you in the next video.